My family excluded me from Christmas for years, favoring my brother. At his job interview, HR disclosed I was the CEO, and his face turned pale. My name is Salini Drayton, and at 32, I am the CEO of Tekishen Solutions, a tech startup that has grown into a mid-sized company with over 200 employees. My journey to success, however, was marked by familial rejection rather than support. Raised in Pittsburgh, I was always the overlooked child. My parents, Edmond and Isolda, made it abundantly clear that my younger brother, Alaric, 3 years my junior, was their pride and joy. Alaric received the best toys, opportunities, and their unwavering affection. From childhood, I learned to fend for myself. My parents attended every one of Alaric's little league games and school plays, but they were rarely present for my academic contests or piano performances. "We're tied up with Alaric's event," was their constant refrain. When college approached, the disparity became stark. "We've saved for Alaric's education since he was born," my father said when I asked for financial help. "He's destined to be a doctor or lawyer." For me, it was, "Salini, you've always been self-reliant." I graduated with honors in computer science and business administration from State University, juggling 3 part-time jobs and a full course load. Meanwhile, Alaric partied through his freshman year at an expensive private college, dropped out, and convinced our parents to fund a gap year that stretched into 3 years of globetrotting across Europe and Asia, all on their dime. Post-college, I secured an entry-level role at a small tech firm. The salary was modest, but the experience was invaluable. Living in a cramped studio, I worked 60-hour weeks, honing my skills and building side projects. While Alaric posted photos from exotic destinations, I coded until 3 a.m., driven to create something significant. 5 years ago, my breakthrough arrived. I developed an innovative AI-driven customer relationship management system. After countless investor pitches and rejections, I secured funding to launch Tekishen Solutions. The first 2 years were grueling, relentless work, and every resource poured into the company's survival. By year 3, our software gained traction, major corporations adopted it, and revenue soared. We expanded, moved into a proper office, and I began drawing a decent salary. There were moments when funding shortages and product challenges nearly broke us, but I persevered. This year, Tekishen Solutions became a tech industry leader, valued at over $200 million. Throughout this, my family contact dwindled to brief holiday calls. My parents never inquired about my company, redirecting conversations to Alaric's latest failed venture. Alaric returned to the U.S., landing a marketing job through our parents' connections, doing minimal work yet earning their endless praise. "Alaric's thriving in the corporate world," my mother would say, ignoring my thriving business. In December, 3 weeks before Christmas, my phone rang unexpectedly. It was my mother, her voice unusually warm. "Salini, dear, about Christmas this year," she began. Typically, I received a last-minute text invite, so a call this early was surprising. "We're hosting everyone on Christmas Eve. It'd be wonderful if you could come." A flicker of hope warmed me. Maybe they were softening. "That sounds lovely, Mom," I replied cautiously. "I think I can make it." She continued, "Alaric's bringing his new girlfriend, Marigold Vance, who works at Hargrove and Partners, a prestigious consulting firm. Her father's a partner there." There it was, the real motive. "She's remarkable," my mother gushed. "Harvard Business School on track for junior partner. Alaric met her at a charity gala. Everyone's so impressed. Your father brags his son's dating a Harvard grad. Imagine the Drayton family rising." I inhaled deeply. "Mom, did I mention Tekishen was featured in Forbes last month? We're expanding to Europe next year." "That's nice, dear," she dismissed. "Anyway, Marigold's from an excellent family. Her mother's on the symphony board, and they have a Hamptons summer home. Alaric says they'll vacation there for New Year's." I bit back my frustration. "Very exciting. Mom, I have a meeting in 5 minutes." "Of course, dear. Wear something nice for Christmas, not those suits. Marigold's very stylish." A week before Christmas, as I finalized travel plans, my father called, a rare event that alarmed me. "Salini," he said brusquely, "about Christmas. Your mother and I think it's best you don't come this year." Stunned, I gripped the phone. "Alaric's girlfriend is from an elite family," he continued. "We don't want complications." "Complications?" I echoed faintly. Marigold's family is wealthy, connected. We need to show them our family's respectable. But I'm not, I snapped. Don't twist my words, he barked. Your brother has a chance at a bright future. We don't need your alternative lifestyle interfering. Alternative lifestyle? I was baffled. Dad, I'm a tech CEO. What are you talking about? All that independent woman nonsense, your career obsession, always trying to outshine Alaric with your so-called achievements. The words hit like a slap. You've always been difficult, Salini, doing things your way, no matter the family's needs. Think of your brother for once. I sat, phone pressed to my ear, as my father dismantled my place in the family. I wasn't excluded for anything I'd done, but for who I was, accomplished, independent, unapologetic. I understand, I said, voice steady despite threatening tears. Enjoy your Christmas. Good, he replied, relieved I didn't argue. Your mother will call after the holidays. Alone in my Seattle office, I stared at the skyline as dusk fell, shadows stretching across the city. I'd built this company, this life, without their support, yet it wasn't enough for a seat at their Christmas table. For the first time in years, I let myself weep, deep, wrenching sobs for the girl never deemed enough, the teenager exhausted from seeking approval, the woman still craving acceptance. When the tears stopped, I squared my shoulders and returned to work. If my family wouldn't have me, I'd create my own holiday. My first Christmas alone was stark. From my Seattle apartment, I saw the Space Needle aglow with festive lights. I decorated a small tree with a few ornaments. Callista, my executive assistant, texted, "Merry Christmas, Salini. My mom's famous eggnog awaits if you change your mind about joining us." She'd been appalled I'd be alone and invited me, but I declined to avoid intruding. Then Ophelia, my college best friend, messaged, "Merry Christmas, Becca. Dorian and the kids want Auntie Salini here. Hams in the oven, wine's waiting. Don't tell me you're alone in that sterile apartment." I smiled. Ophelia knew me too well. We'd bonded during freshman orientation, and she'd witnessed my family's struggles, welcoming me into hers. After hesitating, I texted, "Give me an hour. I'll bring dessert." I grabbed a chocolate cake from the only open bakery and drove to Ophelia's suburban home. Her twins, Isabel and Caspian, rushed out in Christmas pajamas. "Auntie Salini, you came," Isabel squealed. "We thought you were working," Caspian added, grabbing the cake. "Finished early," I fibbed, entering a home bursting with holiday warmth, cinnamon-scented air, Christmas music, decorations everywhere. Ophelia hugged me tightly. "You came," she said, relieved. Her husband Dorian, holding their toddler Amara, added, "About time, Salini." Surrounded by their love, we ate, exchanged gifts, played games, and laughed by the fire. No one mentioned my achievements or compared me to others. I was just Salini, cherished. Later, helping Ophelia clean, I whispered, "Thank you, I needed this." She squeezed my shoulder. "Your family, Becca. Always." That night back home, I saw Alaric's text. A photo of my parents, him, and a stunning woman, Marigold, smiling by the childhood Christmas tree. "Merry Christmas. Wish you could have been here, but Marigold's family joined, and it was tight." Our 5-bedroom home was never about space. I stared at the image, my father's proud arm around Alaric, my mother's beaming smile at Marigold. A perfect family, no room for me. Something shifted. I stopped chasing their approval, focusing on my work, which never failed me. Between Christmas and New Year's, I worked tirelessly, refining our 5-year plan, negotiating with European partners, and crafting a new marketing strategy. Callista, returning in January, found my office reorganized. "Did you work the whole holiday?" she asked, concerned. "I had a breakthrough," I replied. "This will be our biggest year." In the following months, Tekishen signed major contracts, confirmed European expansion, and developed a groundbreaking AI product. I barely thought of my family. They didn't call post-Christmas, and I didn't reach out. Alaric sent occasional Marigold updates, met with brief replies. By March, Tekishen was a tech powerhouse, moving to a larger Seattle office and hiring extensively. One afternoon, HR Director Eloan Price entered my office, locking the door, holding a folder with a peculiar expression. "We've had 300 applicants for senior project manager roles," she said. "The team narrowed it to 20 for interviews." "Great," I replied. "Quality candidates?" "Mostly," she said, sliding the folder over. "But you should see this." It was Alaric's resume, filled with exaggerated titles and vague accomplishments. His current role, executive marketing strategist, was at best a mid-level marketing associate position. Did you know he applied? Elowen asked, aware of my family dynamics. No, I said, stunned. He was condescending during the phone screen, she added, chuckling. Assumed Saran from HR was a secretary and demanded someone who makes decisions. I winced. That was Alaric. The role requires 5 years of project management and 3 programming languages, Elowen noted. His resume doesn't qualify, but he insisted on a senior role. Alaric didn't know I was CEO. I used my middle name, Victoria, publicly for privacy, and he never cared about my career. What do you want to do? Elowen asked. Conflict of interest here. I considered rejecting him outright, letting the team decide blindly, or revealing my role. Treat his application like any other, I decided. If he's unqualified, he doesn't advance. Elowen nodded. He's not qualified, but he mentioned client connections, so the team advanced him. His interview's tomorrow at 2 p.m. I chose to observe anonymously as a senior board member. That night, I barely slept, planning to stay professional, yet let Alaric see my truth. The next day, in a tailored navy suit, I sat at the conference room's far end, overlooking Puget Sound. Alaric entered, polished and confident, unaware of me. Elowen introduced the panel, Saran, HR, Lucian, Technical Director, Thalia, Senior Project, noted leadership observers without naming me. Alaric barely glanced at us, fixing his tie, a childhood habit. Thanks for the opportunity, he said. I've followed Tekishen's growth and am excited to bring my expertise. He hadn't researched. My name was public. Lucian asked about managing complex projects. Alaric described a marketing campaign, claiming he coordinated departments, managed budgets, and exceeded expectations. Lucian pressed, which methodologies? Alaric dodged. I use a flexible approach, not rigid systems. Thalia asked about setting up a Kanban board. Alaric faltered, I delegate that. My strength's strategy, not technical details. He grew dismissive, saying, people like me are hired for leadership, not coding. I have connections that could bring major clients. Saran countered, senior project managers need technical expertise and leadership. Alaric waved it off. That's for assistants. Self-made people get lost in details. The room tensed. Tekishen was built by self-made individuals. Lucian asked about overcoming project challenges. Alaric claimed he saved a campaign by replacing a vendor, a story I knew was false. His assistant did the work. As technical questions continued, Alaric grew agitated, checking his watch. We're stuck in technical weeds, he said. I'm up for other senior roles, so let's focus on my unique skills. Elowen signaled the end. Our CEO, who decides senior hires, has questions. Alaric perked up unaware. Elowen turned to me. Salini, would you like to take over? I stood, watching Alaric's face shift from confidence to shock as he recognized me. Hello, Alaric, I said, extending my hand. It's been a while. His mouth moved soundlessly, his clammy hand shaking mine. You're the CEO, he whispered. Salini Drayton, founder and CEO of Tekishen Solutions, I confirmed. I recused myself from initial screening but decide senior hires. His face paled, eyes darting. I opened his resume. You list executive marketing strategist, but Hargrove Partners Percival Hargrove called you a marketing associate. Can you clarify? It's a functional title, he stammered. And your Python and Java proficiency, how would you use them for API integration? I oversee teams for that, he said, tugging his collar. I focus on strategy. One last question. Your client connections, can you specify their business impact? Well, Marigold's father, a consulting partner, and my father knows Pittsburgh business owners, he mumbled, voice fading. Thank you, Alaric, I said, closing the interview. HR will follow up. He shook my hand, stunned, and left, glancing back with embarrassment and realization. Lucian whistled. That was unexpected. He's my brother, I explained. Evaluate him fairly, ignoring our connection. In my office, I locked the door, processing. I hadn't meant to humiliate Alaric, but he faced the consequences of his unpreparedness, judged on merit alone. Then my phone rang. Salini, Elowen from reception said tightly, your brother's still here demanding to see you on the phone with someone, maybe your father. I sighed. Send him in. Alaric stormed in, face red with anger. What was that? He shouted, slamming the door. You made me look like a fool. That was a job interview you applied for, I said calmly. You ambushed me. You applied without researching. A Google search would have shown I'm CEO. Your lack of preparation isn't my fault. He paced, furious. How was I supposed to know? You never talk about work. I've tried for years, I said. No one in our family cared. He raked his hair like our father. Always trying to outdo me, Salini. I recused myself to avoid bias, I said. The team advanced you, those questions were standard. He slumped into a chair. Dad's furious. He's coming here. My stomach sank, but I stayed composed. Whatever came next, I'd built a company and a team that valued integrity, and that was enough. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.